I made this video about the horrific scheme that involves the International Monetary Fund not even 24 hours ago. And in the end, this was predicated on a financial system that was backed by gold with CBDCs, distributed ledger technology, DLT, essentially kind of bringing in a new Bretton Woods. Additionally, I have recently discovered some extremely fascinating information, and to add insult to injury, some additional evidence has also been released to support this. More than that, in all honesty, this is very enlightening. It's hard to believe that something like this is actually taking place, in light of the fact that I created this film a little over 24 hours ago. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. This is Nick, my name. Those of you who are new to the channel, I hope that by the time you reach the conclusion of this video, you will have subscribed to the channel. Even as far back as 2023, Zimbabwe was one of the primary regions in the world that was really kind of pushing for a gold return CBDC. If we take a quick look at what I indicated in that video, we can see that Zimbabwe was one of the major areas. Now, we are aware that this has been fully launched, and even more recently, we have received some news that bankers are supporting this plan to adopt ZiG, or ZiG, if you will, as a sole currency before the year 2030. Lenders do not favor a long delay if reserves gain, price is stable, and cash and mineral reserves backing ZiG have advanced by 30% since April. To put it another way, this is a significant matter because, as you may already be aware, the support that bankers provide in relation to this will also serve to enhance customer support. However, all of this was planned back in the year 2023. And in a very short period of time, this began to really kind of push heavy, and then it made its way into the real world. As we take a quick look at this, it is important to note that this was causing everything to change. Moreover, it primarily encompasses everything that pertains to the system and the financial sector. A statement made by the Royal Bank of Canada, RBC, indicates that the token settlement system is now functioning on the bank's existing systems. Nevertheless, it is possible that the RBC will investigate blockchain ledgers in the future. Exactly what it intends to accomplish by acting in this manner is not yet quite evident. Therefore, they were considering blockchain ledgers even during this time period, which was in the year 2023, and yes, they are still considering them even now. In addition, I am of the opinion that they are going to make even more efforts in that regard as we begin to observe the cryptocurrency market expanding, and maturing as well. Nevertheless, in addition to all of this, I mentioned this back in June, and I stated that it is not too complicated. You are now able to back currencies with gold that has been put out on distributed ledger technologies, DLT, so that you can revalue gold and tokenize it. Right now, indeed, we already have support for this being provided. For all intents and purposes, this is a gold-backed CBDC that is in Zimbabwe's possession. However, when are we going to see a tokenized version of this in terms of gold? Therefore, this occurs whenever we begin to observe the gold standard actually becoming a reality and returning to its previous state. It is also around this time that we begin to observe a revaluation of gold. I am of the opinion that the value of gold will be reassessed in the future. According to what I have stated, I believe that the gold standard will come back, but not in the way that everyone is imagining it will. There are holes in the gold standard theory that are filled by distributed ledger technologies, DLTs, and CBDC is one of the people who despises them. Every country has its own central bank, which is backed by a portion of gold that is distributed on a distributed ledger technology, DLT, which is most likely private. Finally, there are stable coins and tokenized items of value, yet you still require something to bridge the gap between these two types of things. In light of the fact that, once again, how many people are truly paying attention to this, the future is going to hit the 99% like a rock wall all at once. How many people are even making the connection between these two things? It is a relatively little percentage of the total, possibly even less than 1%. That is what I would suggest. However, apart from this aspect over here, to rapidly state that it is not $6,600 per ounce, we are currently experiencing a breakdown. Regarding that, the price is actually $885 per ounce. In my opinion, this constitutes a basis of 40%. That's right, the basis is 40%. However, this was presented in the Daily Gold, and he is actually repeating the ITM trading video, which states that around $22,000 per ounce is required to support 100% of the monetary basis and approximately $6,600. Again, this would be $8,800 per ounce in order to meet the criteria of the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, which needs a 40% backing, or to back 40% of the monetary base. During the month of February in 2008, the price of gold returned 30%. At the current price, that would be close to $6,600 per ounce. To add insult to injury, this would amount to $8,800 per ounce once again. However, what is fascinating about this is that a significant number of individuals believe that a revaluation of gold would never take place. At this point, not much has transpired as a result of this, but we are aware that this was a bill that was in effect, and we are completely unaware of what transpired. I do not believe that it had already moved on. The date that this act will go into effect is September 1st, 2023, according to both of the legislation that we have, despite the fact that neither of the laws has been enacted or offered for a vote. And nothing really happened as a result of this, but when we take a closer look at it, we can see that there is still a significant amount of support for a currency that is backed by gold. And this particular currency is called a digital currency. Additionally, the implications of gold for reserve managers are discussed by the OMFIF, the Digital Monetary Institute, and the central bank when it comes to digital currencies. And then over here, we have a variety of situations and the influence that they have on gold. One way to strengthen the role of metals in the global financial system is to have a gold-backed CBDC. Once more, this is included in this document. Additionally, they do highlight the possibility of shifting away from monetary transactions. Despite the fact that it is really intriguing, this is precisely what they wish to undertake, given that other reserve assets are likely to be digitalized in the near future. We have also given that. The digitalization of gold on its own might be beneficial. However, I also believe that this is laying the groundwork for CBDCs to be backed by gold, and that distributed ledger technology and blockchain technology will play a significant role. This comes from the OMFIF, if you will. This is the same OMFIF that only recently simplified the process of making payments across international borders when it was implemented in December of 2023 using CBDC technology. Can you guess who is mentioned more than often in this context? Ripple. There is a reduction in risk and an improvement in the customer experience as a result of CBDCs, which enable low-cost and almost instantaneous settlements of both local and international payments. The implementation of digital currency technology such as Ripple's CBDC platform enables quick settlement and features that are not attainable with traditional technology. And this helps to ensure that payments are issued and received in local currency on either side of a transaction in a timely manner, while also providing a platform for further innovation. This is all accomplished through the technology of the XRP ledger. Ripple has a considerable amount of experience in offering solutions all around the world, enabling frictionless cross-border transactions and decreasing risk and costs via the use of standardized standards. This is something that we have access to through Ripple payments. Furthermore, we also have at the bottom here, a key differentiator of the Ripple CBDC platform is the flexibility for central banks and governments to adjust their currency plan through each stage of the CBDC production lifecycle. This allows CBDC plans to be adapted so that they coincide with the objectives of a particular nation. It is necessary to have this kind of adaptable solution and business planning in place before beginning a pilot project. Central banks should continue to develop novel methods of completing and accelerating cross-border transactions as more countries seek to adopt CBDC plans. This will assist central banks in providing value to customers, consumers, and enterprises within their own countries. Additionally, this demonstrates to you how significant of a part Ripple may essentially play in this situation. Now, building on this, let's go back to the year 2020, because I have to give a big shout out to you. Probably already know about this PDF file. In the near future, the international monetary system will undergo a series of resets. While it is true that it has taken some time for this to become a reality, it is important to note that this was initially posted in May of 2020, by the way. If we take into consideration everything that is going on around us, including the fact that CBDCs are backed by gold, we can see that these waiting